A very good afternoon to everyone and wishing you all a very happy Navratri. So far we have completed practical 1, 2 and 3, and I think almost everyone has uploaded to practical 1, 2 and 3 to your respective Google Classroom, right? And today I have created one Google Classroom for assignment number 2. So just go through it. There are 6 questions that you have to write and upload it, the PDF file, by 31st of October. Right everyone? So far any doubts in practical 1, 2 and 3? Anyone? Any part of practical 1, 2 and 3? Is there any doubts in any of the parts of practical 1, 2 and 3? Anyone? Anyone? Any doubts in any of the practical 1, 2, 3 topics that we have covered so far? Right, guys, bear with my voice today. I'm having a very severe cough today, that's why. Okay, so let's continue then from where we left in the last particular lab. So today we are actually going to start with practical 4, or rather I can say we are going to the end of the SQL part. That means we are going to the ends of the practical sessions. Once we learn all those topics that I'm going to teach you today, right, then you will be able to perform any type of database operations. That is for sure. Or you can perform any of the queries. So far we have covered, or we have learned, create, insert, update, delete and select commands. Based on that we have learned how to perform some of the AND operator, OR operator, between, not between, in, not in, some of the aggregate functions, some of the SQL inbuilt functions, how to provide constraints in the table, how to modify them. All these things we have covered so far in practical 1, 2 and 3. Right, so today our main agenda is to learn 5 main topics. So I'm just listing down all the 5 topics first of all. So first thing that we are going to learn is distinct keyword. Then we are going to learn group by clause. Then we are going to learn having. Then we will learn subquery. And lastly we are going to learn joins. So these are the 5 topics we are left with actually in practical or SQL part mainly. Right, so we are going to start and complete all these 5 topics in today's lab. So again I'm asking, is there any doubt, anyone in practical 1, 2, 3? Okay, no answers. That means I'm assuming that no doubts. Right. So now we are going to start with distinct keyword first. So can you tell me what do you mean by a word called distinct? What do you mean by a word called distinct? Distinct, sorry. Distinct generally means unique, or we can say different than other. Right? A particular, a peculiar, whatever word you will use, that will be okay. So unique or different than other. So let us assume that in one column you are having repeated values or duplicated values rather, right? And if you want to fetch and display only the unique data, you don't want to display the duplicated data, right? So at that time we can use distinct keyword. Right, so what is the use of distinct? To display only the unique data and discard all the duplicated data. Clear with the definition, or I would say the main use of distinct keyword? Everyone, what is the main use of distinct keyword? Is it clear? right? So let me just log into my Oracle. And yes, you are having the issues that apex.oracle.com is not working. So instead of that, you have to use this particular link that I'm pasting in your chats. Just take a backup of this link actually, right? So this link you can work, and you can work in your Apex. Only Apex has redirected itself to its some different link. That is the only thing, right? So we are in the Apex, and let me just write down like this: select star from account. And if I execute this particular query, you can see I have got about 9 rows. And if you see in city, Ahmedabad is repeating here, right? Mehsana, Jamnagar, Vadodara, again Rajkot is getting repeated. So now what is my main task? That I want to display only the unique cities, the cities that are different than the each other. Only those cities I want to display in my output screen. And for that, right, we have to use distinct keyword. So let us say I am fetching here city, only city. So you can see here I have got 3 times Ahmedabad, 1 time Mehsana, Jamnagar, Vadodara, Gandhinagar, and 2 times Rajkot. So what actually my output should be? Only 1 time Ahmedabad, 1 time Mehsana, Jamnagar, Vadodara, Gandhinagar, and Rajkot. So ultimately you have to show only 6 rows in the output instead of these 9 rows, right? And so for that we are using distinct keyword. So how to use the distinct? We are going to write down select, and then we will write down distinct, the keyword. Into bracket we will just provide the column name for which we want our unique data. You can only provide one single column into bracket. You cannot write down city comma account number. That is wrong. You have to provide only one column. So select distinct city from account. So it will fetch only the unique data from the table. So you can see only Ahmedabad, repetition of Ahmedabad has been discarded. Only Mehsana, only Rajkot, Vadodara, Jamnagar, and Gandhinagar. You can get only 6 rows. Right? So clear how to use the distinct command, everyone? You have to use distinct keyword. Into bracket you need to provide a column name of which you want distinct data or unique data. Clear with this, guys? How to use distinct command? Anyone? Any doubts? Clear, everyone? Okay, then we are moving on to the next part, that is group by. So what is a group? Anyone? What do you mean by a group in general terms? What do you mean by a group in general? Maybe in your class you will be having a different groups. Groups means people or the elements with common properties, right? That means the properties, the behavior of a person to which you are actually comfortable, you will have those persons in your group. So similarly in Oracle or in SQL, if you want to group some of the data based on their values, you can use group by for it. Right? Group by means you are actually grouping the same data into different individual groups. You are collecting the similar type of data into individual different groups. Clear first of all what I am saying? Group by in SQL means you are collecting the same data or same values of the table into different individual groups based on the values. Let me take a simple example here. So let me just execute select star from account. I think what is the issue? Right, so if I talk about this city, right, now what I was saying that group by means you can collect the same data or same values of the tables into individual different groups. So what I will do, if I am saying that I want to group this city, then I will have one group of Ahmedabad, I will have one group of Mehsana, I will have one group of Jamnagar, one group of Vadodara, one group of Rajkot, and one group of Gandhinagar. So those are the similar data or duplicated data. We can group them into one single group so that we can use it quite easily. Clear? What do you mean by group by? Group by means collecting the same data into different individual groups. So here we can say that we have created one group for Ahmedabad city, one group for Mehsana, again one other group for Jamnagar, one another group for Vadodara, one other group for Rajkot, and one other group for Gandhinagar. So we have created different groups of cities in which the relevant city will be falling in that particular groups. If I am entering a new record of Gandhinagar, then that Gandhinagar will fall into Gandhinagar's group. If I am entering any other record of Jamnagar, then that Jamnagar record will fall into Jamnagar's group. So we are just collecting them into different groups. Clear with this, guys? What is group by first of all? Any doubts? Right? So now whenever we are using a group by, right, if you want to use a group by, use group by only if you have aggregate function in select clause. What does this mean? Anyone? Use group by only if you have aggregate function in select clause. What do you mean by this? Yes, anyone? What do you mean by this statement? Use group by only if you have aggregate function in select clause. Anyone who can give me the answer of this? This statement means that if you want to use a group by, if you want to group the similar data into individual groups, right, then you should have some aggregate function in your select part. That means if you are writing like this, select something something from table name, right? So in between the from and the select keyword, there should be one aggregate function to be used between that. So either you can use sum function, count function, max function, mean function, or average function. So there should be at least one aggregate function between select keyword and from keyword. That is the rule. And also a column on which group by is created. That means the column that you are actually willing to group, right? The data of that particular columns that you actually want to group, that column also should be fetched in select clause. So two things you require in a select clause. First thing, you require an aggregate function, and second thing, you require a column on which you want to group. Clear with this concept first of all, guys, then I can go for the example. So I am writing like display the total balance of each city of all accounts. So what does this question means? Display the total balance of each city of all accounts. So what does this question means? The question means that if I go to my example, you can see my accounts table is having about 9 rows, and there are different cities in the accounts table. So I want to have a total of each city's balances. Each city's balances. So let us say I am having 3 records of Ahmedabad. So I want the total of Ahmedabad city. So these 3 balances should be added. Then Mehsana is only 1 record. Then Jamnagar is again a 1 record. Vadodara is again a 1 record. Gandhinagar is again a 1 record. But for Rajkot, there are 2 records. So for this Rajkot again, these 2 values should be added. So this is what actually the question means. Display the total balance of each city. So here, if we want, we can say that our distinct cities are Ahmedabad, Mehsana, Jamnagar, Vadodara, Rajkot and Gandhinagar. But because we know that Ahmedabad and Rajkot are getting repeated, so we need to group them first of all. And after grouping it, we need to make the total of each of their balances. So we'll group Ahmedabad into one group and make the total of 75,000, 1 lakh and 65,000. We'll group Mehsana in another group and total is this. Again Jamnagar in another group, total is this. Similarly Rajkot in another group, and the total will be summation of 60,000 and 50,000. So this is what actually our question means. This is what our question means. You need to display the total balance of each city of all accounts. Clear now what we have to do? Yes or no? Right. So do we have any aggregate function that we can use to have a group by clause in our query? Do we have any aggregate function to be used? Do we have any aggregate function to be used? Which one? Which aggregate function we have to use? Which aggregate function we have to use? Which aggregate function we have to use? Aggregate function, not the group by clause. I'm talking about which aggregate function we will use. There are 5 aggregate functions. So which among those 5 we will use? Yes, exactly, sum. Okay, and on which particular column we have to group the data? We have to group our answer. On which particular column we have to group our answer? If you read the question properly, you are saying that display the total balance of each city, right? So our group is city. City is repeating, so our group will be city, and we are using some function to add all the balances of each group, right? So your query will be like this. See, select sum of balance, the column name, and second thing, on city we are grouping our data, right? So I will fetch city also, then from account table, and then we will write down group by city, the column name on which you are creating actually the group. So you can see here, group by also contains the city, and select part also contains the city column. That means the column on which you are actually putting a group by, that column must be fetched in the select part also. Clear with this, everyone? We have followed both the rules that were given in the upper part. Use group by only if you have an aggregate function. Yes, we have an aggregate function sum, so we are using it. We are using group by, and also a column on which group is created, that should be there in a select part. So we are creating a group on city column, and that city column is available in this select part. So clear, guys, everyone, how to write down a group by clause, or any doubts? So let me execute this query here. So now you can see here, for Ahmedabad the total balance is 2,40,000, Mehsana is 60,000, Rajkot is 1,10,000, Vadodara is 1 lakh, Jamnagar is 3 lakh, Gandhinagar is 60,000. So you got only 6 records, because the Oracle engine has created the groups of Ahmedabad, Mehsana, Rajkot, Jamnagar, Vadodara and Gandhinagar. So this is how group by works. Now clear, guys, everyone, or any doubts? Okay, then go for this query. Display the total amount of transaction based on their mode of pay. I am giving you the table that you can refer. The table name is transaction that you have to refer. This is the table, and this is the question. Display the total amount of transaction based on their mode of pay, and these are the columns, and the table name is transaction. Give me the answer. I have got one answer. Yes, others? I have got 2 answers. 3. Just remember that group and by should be 2 different words. There should be a space, and no need to provide a brackets for a group by column. Yes, otherwise the answers are correct. Vijay, Viraj, Palak and Vishnu. So your answer will be like this one. Select sum of amount, comma, mode underscore of underscore pay from transaction group by mode underscore of underscore pay. So this is your answer. It will work, don't worry. So clear guys, how to use group by? Any doubts so far? Anyone? Anyone? Any doubts? Yes guys, anyone any doubts? Right, so this is group by, and now whenever we are using a group by, and now if you want to provide some condition on a group by, then for that we are using having. It means that, let us say I am taking the same question here. Display the total balance of each city of all accounts whose total balance is more than 1,25,000. Let us say this is my question. So what you can see here, we have to group the city and get the total balance of each of the city, right? And then it is giving me one more condition, that only display those data whose total balance is more than 1,25,000. It means that there is a condition on a group by. There is a condition on a group by, because we have grouped the data and we are finding this total balances, right? And for that balances we have a condition called a balance should be more than 1,25,000. So whenever we have such type of scenario, we cannot use where condition. We cannot use where condition like this. See, if you write like this, select some balance city from account group by. Before that you write down like this, where sum of balance greater than 1,25,000 group by city. This is wrong. This is totally wrong. You cannot have a where condition for an aggregate function. You cannot have a where condition or where clause for this aggregate function. So if you want to put a condition on an aggregate function, and that too you have used group by. So remember what I am saying. If you want to put yes, it will give a wrong output. It will give error. It will not work. Right? It will not work. Viraj. Right, so remember the 2 points for having. First thing, you want to put a condition on your aggregate function. Our aggregate function is sum of balance. And second thing, you are also using a group by. So if you have both the things, then and then you can use having clause. If you have both the things, you want to put a condition on a aggregate function as well as you are using a group by. If you have both of them, then and then you can use having clause. So having is again used to put up a condition on a aggregate function, right? So having clause is used to put up a condition on a having clause, right? Clear guys what I am saying? Or any doubts? First of all, yes Viraj. Right. So now here we have a condition on our aggregate function, right? Total balance is more than 1,25,000. This is our condition on our aggregate function, and we are also using this group by. So we cannot use this where, but what I will do, we will have the same condition, select sum balance city from account, group by city, and then we'll write down having, we'll write sum of balance greater than 1,25,000. So this is your answer. This is your answer. So what we have done, we have used an aggregate function, we have used a group by, and also we want to put a condition on a aggregate function. So this is how you are using a having clause. So if I paste this query in our Apex and try to execute it, see, only two data are there which are more than 1,25,000. So we have grouped the data on Ahmedabad and Jamnagar, and there are only two records whose sum of balance is more than 1,25,000. So now is it clear, guys, how to use a having clause? Is it clear, guys? Just remember one important rule. Having clause can only be used to put up a condition on an aggregate function, and if you have used group by clause, otherwise not. Having is equals to a condition on aggregate function, and plus also there should be a group by. Two things are important. Clear with this, guys? Any doubts so far? Then try to give me answer of this. Display the total amount of transaction based on their mode of pay whose amount is more than 2,000. Try to give me answer of this. This one. Try to give the answer of this query. Okay, I got two answers from Palak and Viraj. Let me wait for some of the more answers from you guys. Yes, any other answers from anyone else? Waiting for the answer. Giving you 2 minutes more if you want to write down the answer. Okay, Rahil, accept your answer. Right. I regret to say that all of your answers are incorrect. All the answers are incorrect, rather. Please read the question properly. display the total amount of transaction based on their mode of pay whose amount is more than 2000. I have not said total amount is more than 2000. I have only said amount is more than 2000. Then why all of you have used having some amount greater than 2000? The question says only amount, and you all of you have written like having some amount, sum of amount greater than 2000. So the actual answer of this particular question will be like this. Select sum of, let me just copy from this one only. Right. So select sum of amount, comma mode of pay from transaction, group by mode of pay. But before that, I will write down like this, where amount is greater than 2000. I said that you can use the simple conditions. You cannot use aggregate function conditions in group by, but the simple conditions are still allowed. So I write down like this, where amount is greater than 2000, group by mode of pay. Simple. Because I don't have any conditions on aggregate functions, then why I should use having function? Why should I use having clause? Clear, guys? So don't be in hurry to write down the answers. Please read each and every question properly. Clear, guys, what I'm saying? We don't have any condition on aggregate function. We have a simple condition on a column value. So why to use having? We can directly use where part and complete our query, right? But still, if you want to write down this particular query using having, you have an option, as Palak has already written in the chats, that you can write down like select sum of amount mode of pay from transaction, and rather than writing this here, you can just use group by mode of pay having amount greater than 2000. But from my point of view, this query you should not use. It will give you the output, it is going to work, there is no issue. But whenever you have a simple conditions, do not use having clause. That is what my perception or my assumption is, or my suggestion is to you all. Right? So clear, guys? So this query can be written in two different ways. So I hope it is clear now. What is having clause? Anyone, any doubts till now? We have covered distinct keyword, we have covered group by, we have covered having. Any doubts so far? Anyone? So distinct keyword and group by clause I have pasted in your chats. You can refer to it. And also I am pasting the having clause. So I am giving you 2 minutes more if you want to refer all the topics that we have learned so far. And then we can start with the subqueries and joins. So this is distinct and group by and having. Just go through it and tell me if you have any doubts anymore. else we will start with subqueries and joins. Clear, guys, or any doubts? Yes, any doubts? Anyone? Anyone? Any doubts? Okay, so I am moving on to the subquery. So now we are talking about a subquery. So what does subquery mean actually? Subquery means a query within a query. What does it mean? Query within a query. That means you know already about nested for loops, right? You are writing one for loop inside some other for loop. So the same thing applies here for subquery. A query within a query. So a subquery means a query within another query. That means there will be one outer query and inner query. You can have as many number of inner queries you want. There is no rule that you should have only these many inner queries. As per the requirement of your question, you can generate as number of inner queries you want. Right? So a query within another query, that means you will have an outer query and inner query. So the outer query will be dependent on the output of inner query. Remember this thing. An output outer query, so not output, an outer query will be dependent on the output of inner query. Clear, guys, what I'm saying? An outer query will be dependent on the output of inner query. Let me take a very simple example. You'll come to know what actually what I mean to say. Let us say display the details of accounts whose balance is less than the total balance of all accounts. So first, can anyone tell me what does this query mean? What does this question mean? What does this question mean?
So it will show the balance. Uh, it will show the people who has the balance less than the total amount.
Right. So we need to display that. We need to display all the details of the account, right? We need to display all the details of account whose balance is less than the total balance of all accounts. So what does this mean? Let's say I am writing here like select star from account. So what does this mean? We are having 9 records, right? So what does this mean? We need to display all the details. So we need to display the complete table. All the accounts whose individual balance, say 75,000, 1 lakh, 65,000, 6 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 1 lakh, 6 lakhs, something, 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 right? So whose individual balance is less than the total balance of all accounts. So first what we need to do is we need to make the total of all the balances of all the 9 rows. Yes or no? What we need to do first is we need to make the total of all these balances. Yes or no? We need to make the total of all these balances. Yes or no? Guys, are you able to understand or not? I am saying that display the details of account whose balance is less than the total balance of all accounts. So first thing that we want is the total balance of all accounts. Yes or no? So we need to add all the balances first. Right. And then what we need to do? Whatever the total of balance we get, right? We need to check that individual record balance is less than that total balance or not. So we have two conditions. First thing, we have two parts in the query rather. First thing, we need to find the total balance of all accounts. And then second thing that we need to do is we need to compare the output of this total balance with this individual balance of each row and check whether individual records of each row, right, is less than the total balance or not. This is what our query means. First, find out the total balance. If the total balance you are getting, right, and you are going to compare that total balance with each and every row's balance column or balance value, and if that balance value is less than the total balance, fetch the data and display it to the user. So clear with the question first of all everyone, or any doubts? Clear with the question or any doubts? Clear with the question guys or any doubts? So we have two parts of our query. First part is where it is going to compare the balance, and second part is we need to find out the total balance that will be used for comparison. First of all, is this clear or any doubts?
Yes, yes.
So how the query will go? We'll write down like this: select. What is the outer query? Outer query will be this, whose balance is less than. This is my outer query, and on which it is dependent. It is dependent on the output of total balance. So this will be my inner query. Total balance will be my inner query, and balance less than will be my outer query, because balance is less than is dependent on this total balance, right? So select, let's say star from account where balance. That is what my condition that I will check, less than. Now balance should be less than what? The balance should be less than the total balance of all accounts. So for that I will write down my inner query into the brackets, less than select sum of balance from account. So this is your answer. This is my outer query. Display all the details of account whose balance is less than, you can see, and then this is my inner query, less than the total balance of all accounts. I have got select sum of all balances from account table. So now how this query will be executed actually? So first of all, this query will be executed, the inner query will be executed first. So it will fetch select sum balance from account. Assume that sum of the balance is 3 lakh rupees. Let us say here 3 lakh rupees. So now select star from account where balance less than 3 lakh. Where balance less than 3 lakh. The output of this particular query is 3 lakh. So now each balance will be compared with 3 lakh. Each balance will be compared with 3 lakh. This is how your inner query and outer query will work. Right? Clear with this first of all, everyone? Any doubts? Anyone? Select star from account where balance less than select sum of balance from all accounts. Assuming that the sum of all accounts is 3 lakh. So now that output will be used, the output of the inner query will be used with the outer query for comparison or for relational operators. Clear, guys? Now let us say here I am writing like this. Instead of sum balance, I am writing like select city from account. Is it right or wrong? Select star from account where balance is less than select city from account. Is it right or wrong? Only the query. Only the query. Not talking about the question. Only the query. Exactly, it will be a wrong. Let us say that if we execute this inner query first, select city from account. So it will give me 3 times Ahmedabad, 2 times Rajkot, 1 times Gandhinagar, Jamnagar, Vadodara and Mehsana. So can we compare this balance with that Ahmedabad, Rajkot, Mehsana, Gandhinagar? Yes or no? Can we compare this balance column with Ahmedabad, Jamnagar, Vadodara, Rajkot like these cities? Obviously not, right? So always remember that whatever output you are going to give from the inner query, that output will be used by the outer query. So this output is not relevant actually. Select city cannot be compared with balance. City cannot be compared with balance, right? So this output cannot be right. Even if I write down like this, let's say select sum of balance comma city from account. If you write down like this, what will be the output? Output will be, it will give city column as well as the sum of balance also. So again, this won't work because you should give only one single output from inner query. You should give only one single output from the inner query. So you are giving here 2 outputs, not a single output, so this will not work. So only one output and the correct output is expected by the outer query from the inner query. This is what you have to remember. Now is that clear, guys, or any doubts? Clear or any doubts? If you are clear, just try to give the answer of this. Display the account number and name of all accounts whose balance is more than whose balance is more than the total balance of Rajkot. First understand the query and then try to give the answer. Yes, anyone? Anyone who can give me the answer of this? Display the account number and name of all accounts whose balance is more than, that is my outer query, and the total balance of Rajkot is my inner query. No one? Okay, so let me just give the answer of this. What is my outer query? The outer query will be select acc underscore no comma name from account where balance greater than, and then we will write down a sub query or inner query, select sum of balance from account where city equals to single quotes Rajkot. So this was my answer. This should be the answer. Yes, Vishnu. What is the query?
सर ये सब कुछ क्वेरी वाला
Sorry?
सब क्वेरी वाला पार्ट सर.
See, what is subquery? A query within another query. That means you will be having one outer query, and that outer query will be completely dependent on the output of inner query. Now let's say that this example, display the details of account whose balance is less than the total balance of all accounts. So what we need to do is we need to first find out the total balance of all accounts. So this will be my inner query, and then we are comparing this particular thing, the total balance, with the individual balance of all the records. We are comparing whether individual balance of all the records is less than the total balance or not. If it is less than, then we are displaying the data. So this is my outer query that will be dependent on the output of the inner query, that is this one. Till here is it clear, guys? Vishnu?
Yes sir.
So what we have written here, see, we have written the outer query first. So select star from account where balance less than. So this is my outer query, and this outer query is now dependent on the output of total balance. So into bracket I have written the inner query, select sum of balance from account. So assume that now sum of balance is 3 lakh rupees. So now it will do, instead of this particular select star from account, we already got 3 lakh rupees as a sum, so it will be replaced by this, see, like this now. So wherever balance is now less than 3 lakh, all the data will be fetched and displayed to you. This is what your query will be. The Oracle engine substitutes the inner query outputs instead of the complete query. So whatever is the output of this inner query will be replaced by the actual output. So this will be done. Assuming that 3 lakh is the sum of the balance of all account, so it will be replaced internally by Oracle engine for executing the query in a proper way. Now clear or any doubts?
Yes sir, clear.
Take the second example. Display account number, name of all accounts whose balance is more than the total balance of Rajkot. Now we came to know that we have one more condition in my inner query. What is my outer query? Display account number and name of all accounts whose balance is more. But to which value we have to compare it? The inner query is the total balance of Rajkot. So I have written like select account number and name from account where balance greater than. Now I need to first find out what is the total balance of Rajkot city. So for that I have written like select sum of balance from account where city equals to Rajkot. So in your records, wherever the city will be Rajkot, all the balances of that Rajkot city will be added. Now assume that the balance is 1,50,000, right? The output of this query, select sum balance from account where city equals to Rajkot. The output of this query is, let us say, 1,50,000. So it will be replaced by like this. So now what it will do, select account number and name from account where balance is greater than 1,50,000. 1,50,000. So all the data whose balances are more than 1,50,000, that will be displayed. So that is the part of inner query. Inner query executes and returns the output, and that output is compared with the outer query's requirement. Now any doubts? Anyone? Anyone, any doubts? Then go for the next question. Give me the answer of this. Display the details of transaction whose amount is more than the total amount of all cash payments. So this is the table that you can use. This is transaction table, and these are the columns. Give me the answer. Give me the answer for this now. I want answers from everyone. Awaiting the answers from you all.
So,
Hmm? Yes.
can I just speak the query?
Okay, you can.
Select star from transaction
Hmm.
where amount is greater than in the, we can write second inner query.
Hmm.
Select some balance
Some
from
amount.
transaction where, hello,
Yes, yes, continue.
yeah, select some, the inner query would be select some balance from transaction
Hmm.
where mode of pay is equal to cash.
Yeah, okay, exactly. Very good. Yes, Palak, exactly. Yes, Palak, you can use select star from transaction instead of only fetching one column. That is also correct. Not a doubt, not a problem. Right? Because I said display details of transaction, you can use star directly. So the answer will be select star from transaction where amount greater than, and into bracket into inner query you will write down select sum of amount where mode of pay equals to cash. Right? So clear guys, everyone with this? Everyone clear with this? Everyone clear with this? Should I write the answer? So the answer will be like this. Instead of type of transaction, we are fetching only star. So this will be your answer. Clear, guys, everyone? So I'm just pasting this subquery part in your chats just for your reference. So we have got all the answers of subquery. So now let's move on to the last part of the SQL, that is joins. So can anyone tell me what do you mean by join? What do you mean by join? Anyone? What do you mean by join? We have covered this topic in our unit number 3, relational algebra. Not exactly, Jai. Joins do not depend on primary key and foreign key. The first rule. They do not depend on primary key and foreign key. Yeah, but in general terms, what is a join? Yes, others, what do you mean by join? Combine the data from 2 or more tables. Okay, Priyansh, very good. So can anyone tell me what exactly the join does, or what is the condition if we want to perform a join? I said that when we studied this join in relational algebra. Does anyone remember? If I want to perform a join of 2 tables or more than 2 tables, then there should be one condition that is to be followed or satisfied. Does anyone remember that condition? Okay, so I am talking about joins. So joins means we are combining 2 tables, and after combining we are trying to remove all the unwanted or irrelevant data from the combination, right? Yes, it helps to prevent the repetition of data. That is right. So joins actually uses, what it does, it joins each and every row of one table with each and every row of other table. That is what join does. And wherever there is a data mismatch, it will just discard that particular data. So if you want to use a join, then if you, let us say you are joining 2 tables. So if you want to join 2 tables, then there should be one common column between the 2 tables. That is the condition that you have to see, that you have to satisfy. For joining 2 tables, there should be one common column among the tables, in both the tables rather. Clear, guys? What is the rule? If you want to join 2 tables, then there should be one common column in the 2 tables that can be used for joining those tables. Clear with the concept, everyone? So let's see how to perform join then. Let's say my question is, this is my question. What I want to do is, I want to display the account number, the name and the loan amount of all the accounts. So first of all, what we need to do is we need to check under which tables these columns appear. Under which tables these columns appear. So let's see. So I want account number and name, right? So account number and name can be found out from account table. Yes or no? Account number and name can be available from this account table. And also we want a loan table. We want a loan amount. So this loan amount can be found from this loan table. You can see this loan table contains loan amount column. So actually we want to display our data from two different tables. Yes or no? We want to display our data from two different tables. Yes or no? Right. So actually we have to use joins. Because we want to display the data from two different tables, we have to use joins. And if we want to use a join, there should be a common column between both the tables. Do we have any common columns in loan and account table? Do we have any common columns between loan and account table? Yes or no? Yes, we have a common column called account number. So if we have a common column between the two tables, then we can perform a join. So now let's perform the join operation. So the answer of this query will be like this. Select. What we need to fetch? We need to fetch SEC underscore NO, comma name, comma loan underscore amount. But this is what it will create some complexities in the Oracle engine. If we write down just like this, let's say from account comma loan, because we are using two tables, right? So it will create some of the complexities in Oracle engine. It has to search for account number column in account table as well as loan table. It will search for name in account as well as loan table. It will search for loan underscore amount in account table as well as loan table, right? So what it does, it creates the complexities among the queries inside the Oracle engine. So to just try to resolve these complexities, what we will do, we will represent each of the table with one variable. What we will do, we will represent each of the tables with some variable. Let's say I am saying that account table is represented by variable A and loan table is represented by variable L. Account table is represented by A and loan is represented by L. And these variables only I will use it to fetch the data also. I will use these variables to fetch the data from the table. So what I will do, I will clearly say here that a dot acc underscore no, comma a dot name, comma l dot loan underscore amount. So Oracle engine will clearly come to know that a dot account number means this account number has to be fetched from account table only. A dot name means name is to be fetched from account table only. And L dot loan amount means this data is to be fetched from loan table only. So this is how you will write down your answer. Is it clear, guys? Clear with this, guys? Why we have created these particular variables for each table? Yes, Jay, you can write down the whole name also, but assume that your table name is like sales underscore order underscore details underscore something something something. Your table name is too long. So to write down the complete long name of the tables, it is quite tedious, right? So that is why we are creating a short variables. Any doubts, anyone so far? So what we have done so far is we have fetched the data from two different tables, and we have said that both the tables are being represented by individual variables a and l. Now the second thing we need to provide here is one default condition, and that default condition will be comparison of common columns of both the tables, right? We need to give a default condition. We need to provide one default condition if we are joining two tables. If we are joining three tables, you need to provide two default conditions. If you are joining four tables, you need to provide three default conditions, right? So default conditions means the columns that are common between the tables, those columns you have to compare using equal to operator. Clear, guys, what I am saying? Default condition means comparison of common columns of the tables using equal to operator, and this should be there in each and every join query. If you have any other condition, you can put it using and or operator, but this default condition should be there in the join query. Clear, guys, what I am saying? Default condition means, yes, tell me the answer. What do you mean by a default condition? Be quick to answer. What do you mean by default condition? Guys, be quick to answer. Yes, we should compare the common columns of both the tables using equal to operator. So here I will write down my default condition using where, right? Where I will write down a dot sec underscore no equals to l dot sec underscore no. So this is my default condition from where part. Clear, guys? So this is what your query will be. This is your answer. This is the answer of the above question. Display the account number, name and loan of all accounts. So we have got the data from two tables, loan and account. We have represented them by a variable, and then we are giving the default condition of comparing the common columns of both the tables, right? So if I copy this particular query and put it in my Apex, let's say here, and run it, you will get the data. I have a duplicated data in my table, so you will get the duplicated data here, but in your tables you will not have duplication. Now how this query will work? So it will first compare these two, s.sccno equals to l.sccno. It means that, let's see here in the practicals, what are the account numbers we have in account table? A001, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And what are the account numbers we have in loan table? Only A001, 2 and 5. So ultimately when the join will be, when joint operation will be executed, after all the execution, all the records of A003 and A004 will be removed, because it is not getting compared with any of the data of loan table. So only the data of A001, 002 and 005 will be displayed in the output. So this is how the join operation works and you have to perform. Clear or any doubts? Anyone, any doubts? Try to write down the answer of this. Display the name, loan number and interest rate of all accounts whose remaining loan is less than 1,25,000. You can refer to the columns this. This is the column. Interest rate, remaining loan, loan number, SECNO, account and loan table. So now give me the answer of this. Be quick to answer. Use join operation, default condition, and then you have one more condition. So use all of them and try to give me the answer.
Sir, can you show the query?
Yeah, sure. The query is display the name, loan number and interest rate of all accounts whose remaining loan is less than 1,25,000. The table names are loan and account, two tables you have to use. And the columns that you have to use are name, loan underscore NO and interest underscore rate and remaining underscore loan. So now try to give the answer.
Sir, can I speak the answer?
Okay.
Select A dot name, comma L dot loan number, comma L dot loan interest from account A, loan L, where where L dot remaining loan less than 100,000, 1,25,000.
Okay. The answer is wrong.
Okay.
I said whenever you are using a join, remember that the default condition will be always there. And then you can add your required conditions of the question using logical operators and or. So you forgot to add a default condition. Add a default condition everywhere wherever you are using a join. This is the rule, universal rule that you have to follow. So anyone who can give me the answer now? I got the answer from Palak. Select a dot name, comma l dot loan underscore no, comma ll dot interest underscore rate from account A, comma loan L, where a dot account number equals to l dot account underscore number, and remaining underscore loan is less than 1,25,000. Only one single mistake, Palak. It should be l dot remaining underscore loan, nothing more. So this will be your answer. So guys, see this answer. This will be your answer. Select a dot name from account table, l dot loan number from loan table, l dot interest rate from loan table, from account A, loan L. Then we have a default condition, a dot account number equals to l dot account number, and l dot remaining loan is less than 1,25,000. So this should be your answer. Clear guys, everyone? Or still any doubts? Yes. Vishnu, Virat, Shivanand, Jai, Rahil, Priyansh, Darshan, Chirag, Bhavya, Shyam, Tanzil. So let me give one last query for your practice. Display name, loan number and installment date of all accounts. First tell me which tables we have to use for joining purpose, and can we perform a join or not. Tell me the answer of this. If you want, I can give you the tables. What do we want? We want name. We want name of the account, loan number of the account, and installment date of accounts. So Rahil, if we use loan and installment, can we get a name? No, because we can get a name from account table. We can get a name from account table. You can see here. We get name from account table. We get loan number from this loan table, or even we can get loan number from installment table, and installment date we are getting from installment table. So either you can use 2 tables or you can use 3 tables. That is your choice. But can we perform a join? Please tell me the answer, yes or no. Okay, Jai is saying yes. Very good. Anyone else? Okay, Rahil is also saying yes. Great. Right. So let's see. In account table, we have account number, name, city, balance, and loan taken. In loan table, we have loan number, account number, loan amount, interest rate, loan date, and remaining loan. And in installment table, we have loan number, installment date, and amount. So if you can see here, we don't have any common column between the 3 tables. First of all, there is no common column between the all the three tables, right? So there is no common column between the three tables. But still, if you want to perform a join operation, right, then we just need to establish some of the relations. We need to establish some connections between the tables. So how we can establish the connections? We will use transitivity rule. A to B, B to C, then ultimately A to C. So we are going to use transitivity rule here. How? Let's see. What we will do? We will first join the tables account and loan on account number column. We will first join the tables account and loan on account number column, because that is the common column between account and loan table. So this is A to B. Then what we will do? We will join loan table and installment table on loan number column, because loan number column is the common column between loan and installment table. So this is my B to C. So ultimately we will have A to C. That means we can have direct relationship between account and installment, right? So this is how you have to create the connectivity or connections or relations. What we will do? We will first join the tables account and loan on account number column. Then we will join loan and installment table on loan number column. So then our answer will be ready in the output. Now clear, guys, what we can do? So now we have three tables to be joined. So we will have two default conditions. First, comparison of account table and loan table on account number column, and then the comparison of loan table and installment table on loan number column. So two default conditions are required for this particular query. Clear with this, guys? Everyone, first of all, you will fetch a name from account table, loan number from loan table, and installment date from installment table. And you will have two default conditions. First, account table and loan table compared by account number column, and then loan table and installment table compared by loan number column. Clear with this, everyone? First of all, I have got the answer from Palak by the time. Great. Yes, Palak, exactly, very good answer, right answer. Last part is incorrect. It should be L dot loan number equals to I dot loan number, not the installment number. The common columns are loan number, not the installment numbers. Clear with this, guys? First of all, what you have to do, if you do not have some common column between the three tables, you can establish the relationships like this using transitivity rules of your DBMS. A to B, B to C, then ultimately A to C. Clear, everyone? Yes or no? Yes or no? Clear with this or not?
So can you explain once again, please?
Yeah, sure. See,
I'm sorry.
yeah. See, if you check out the tables properly, we want to use three tables. First of all, to fetch the data, we need to have name from account table. We need to have this loan number from loan table, and this installment date from installment table, right? So if you see all the three tables properly, we do not have any common column between the three tables. Yes or not? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Right. So now, if we do not have any common column among the three tables that we want to join, then we can try to establish some relation among the three tables via some other columns. Let's say you are using some transitivity rule, A to B, B to C, then A to C. So similarly here also we are trying to apply that transitivity rule. How it will go? Let's see. We know that we have a common column account number between account table and loan table. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes or no? Clear with this, everyone? First of all, what you have to do, if you check out the tables properly, we want to use three tables. First, comparison of account table and loan table. Then the comparison of loan table and installment table. So now, if we see all the three tables properly, we do not have any common column between the three tables. Yes or no? Yes or no? we have a common column account underscore number between this account table and loan table, yes or no?
Yes.
Right, so this is A to B, just assume it. And then if we look at the loan table and installment table, then we can come to know that a loan number column is common between loan table and installment table, yes or no?
Yeah.
So loan table is the intermediate, right? So this is B to C. We already have A to B, that is account and loan, and now we are having loan and installment, so B to C. So ultimately we can have A to C, that is account to installment, yes or no? A loan table is the intermediate because it is having a common column with account table as well as a common column with installment table. So we can establish the relation like account and loan and installment. Now is it clear? Clear, Rahil? Sure?
Yes, sir.
So this is your query. See, select a dot name from l dot loan comma l dot loan number comma I dot installment date from account A, that is account table loan L and installment I, where now we are just putting two default conditions because we are having three tables. So first default condition is A to B, that is account table and loan table comparison, and the common column between account table and loan table is account number. So we have compared that to A.SCCNO equals to L.SCCNO, right? And then we are going to compare the remaining two tables, that is B to C, that is loan table and installment table, and the common column between loan and installment table is loan underscore NO. So L dot loan underscore NO equals to I dot loan underscore NO. So this is how you perform the join operations. Clear with this, guys, or any doubts? Now, anyone, any doubts? Anyone, any doubts? Yes or no? So I am pasting all the join queries in your chats just for your reference. You can take a backup of this. So this is all about distinct, group by, having, then we have subquery and joins. So is there any doubt so far, anyone in this? So based on these concepts, we will have a practical 4 that we will start in the next lab.